Hello everybody, hope you're doing very well this evening and welcome to the Contenders live stream. Hope you are doing very well. And it's going to be a good one today. I'm looking forward to it. I just saw the comments about WAN, obviously, that I'm doing for the chart of the week setup and how it just hit resistance and saw that drop. And I just, that's funny. So yeah, obviously, yeah, WAN, that's been a really good coin and everybody has got it right. And so I'm starting to see you all making some really good money. Obviously, the comments rolling in that people are like making really good money from this. So yeah, I'm very, very happy basically. And yeah, what a week it's been. What a week it has been. Okay, just making sure you can all hear. Yeah, cool. Comments in. Right, let's begin. So yeah, obviously we've had the Bitcoin continuing to move up bullishly. Now the altcoins are starting to take off. It is a very, very nice market to be in at the moment. I am absolutely loving it, and I know you are too. So yeah, let's. I'll explain what we're going to be going over tonight. Really looking forward to it. So we're going to be starting off with WAN, obviously WAN chain chart of the week setup. Okay, then I'm going to be moving on to how to trade bull. Okay, this is what we're going to be seeing most at the moment, bull flags and bear flags. Okay, so I'm going to be going over how to trade those and the flag poles. Okay, so how you can get targets for this, okay, and how to really be trading it, because we have seen so many bull flags playing out. Okay, this is why I felt today was like really important to cover this, because we are seeing so many and they are all perfectly getting continuation. Yeah, so you get your upwards movement, you get your pullback and your bull flag, and then you continue to the upside. We have seen this time and time and time again, and it's giving very, very, very good profits. Okay, what was funny is on the champion stream, we were going through some harmonic patterns, and then 3/4 of the way through the educational side of it, Bitcoin started pumping, and then literally in that move though, the reason why I mentioned it is because we formed a bull flag. I was like, this is going to continue upwards, and yeah, very shortly it continued upwards, and that was all from a bull flag declining volume. I'll go over this anyway. Then I'm going to be moving over to the importance of the 382, okay, for Bitcoin, focusing on Bitcoin. I'm trying to focus all this on crypto. So the importance of the 382 fib level, okay, for Bitcoin, and the 786 for altcoins that have had a major pump and now are on their retracement, okay. So I'm going to be going over the 786, which is focused on alts, 382, which is more focused on majors / Bitcoin, okay. Ending with the Bitcoin technical analysis / looking at a few alts, and then yeah, question and answers related to tonight. So hope that you thoroughly enjoyed it tonight, and yeah, let's begin with WAN. Oh yeah, yeah, this is what I need to just mention to you all, because this really annoyed me that I was doing this. I've been working on this today and over the last few days, and today about half an hour before about 20 minutes ago now, I was on my computer working on this presentation, and I got this blue screen of death. So my computer blue screened, and unfortunately the things that I was working on over the last few hours on this presentation I lost. Okay, so that was very annoying for myself, and yeah, a bit of a shame, because I had done about another 6 slides in here and I lost all of the work because my computer blue screened and it did not save this presentation. So that's a bit of a shame, but I obviously have it all in my head, but yeah, I didn't have time because it happened very shortly. And obviously if you lose me halfway through the live stream, it's because my computer blue screens. Apologies if that happens. I very much hope it doesn't, but yeah, that's technical issues for you. I'll need to get some IT support. My family are actually in the IT business, so yeah, it'd be quite easy for me. But yeah, moving on. So the WAN chart of the week setup. Okay, fairly obvious again. Obviously these BTC coins you can only go long, so these setups are obviously long, and it's just working out the entry. Okay, so this was actually a very simple entry because it was literally an entry at the current price. Okay, so we're looking at the price being at 460 sats, entry on 460 sats. This is what we call trading against the trend. This trend is definitely in a downtrend. This is on the daily time frame, and I had a question about this today in on Engine Coin, and I said that I was trading Engine Coin, and I had a question saying, why are you trading Engine Coin? It's in a downtrend. Okay, something has to reverse out of a downtrend eventually, and this is definitely trading against the trend. It is a risky entry, okay, because you're in this downtrend. Okay, so that's the first thing I'd say. It's obviously a higher risk entry because we are trading a downtrend channel, but yeah, we're just trading against the trend, and obviously it has worked out very nicely, which is currently up about 8% since literally the entry. When was this? Like 2 days ago, up 8%. So that's a nice return so far. Yeah. So with that said, yeah, I'll just talk you through this. Okay, it's not actually too difficult at all. This setup, it's fairly simple. So what we're looking at here is the long entry at 460 sats. Okay, which literally was the price. Okay, then we're looking at the take profit 497, and this was the joke that we that I had in the comment section. This hit literally just before the stream started, and this was my take profits. That wasn't me. I closed out of this slightly before this, but that was funny. Yeah, that was my first take profit, and we literally hit this just before the stream started. Okay, then we obviously that's just been horizontal resistance. Okay, then the close, so the take profit target is this 634 sats. Okay, stop loss placed at my area of invalidation, which is the 372 sats. Okay, this is obviously in the downtrend. It's placed, below the 1618 extension. Okay, so below 1618 extension, and also below the the critical support level that we have in this downtrend. We didn't want to lose this level. Okay, and we also have the middle of the parallel. So that's my area of invalidation. As you can see, it's a wide stop loss. Okay, so this position that I'm playing with was actually a relatively small position size, so it's not a this also is the fact that I'm playing against the trend. It's not a big position for me, but yeah, that for me, like this, as for me, it's all about the risk to reward. This is a 2-to-1 risk to reward ratio. Obviously wide stop loss, but a wide gain. And yeah, obviously you take into account the position sizing when you've got your stop loss. It's all under a formula. So wider stop loss just equals generally, obviously, your smaller position sizes. So controlled risk, that's the main thing. You want to have that controlled risk. Okay, so yeah, that was the set stop loss area invalidation. Okay, obviously this has moved up since its entry just up. So yeah, zero downtrend in this. So yeah, the reason for the coin, the trade. So this coin had a 66% retracement from the high here down to the low. So we're looking at a 66% sell-off. Okay, obviously on that sell-off we started forming on the histogram bullish divergences on the way down. Again, bullish divergences in a downtrend does not mean enter. It's just a sign of things to potentially start reversing. Okay, so that's what we were seeing there. On the RSI, you were not getting bullish divergences, but on the histogram, yes. Okay. So histogram was upticking, so getting bullish divergences, signaling that we could potentially be seeing a reversal. Okay, I did not get in on the original bottom. I generally don't do this. So on the original bottom, I didn't, but then we saw the about as written here, 40% move up, and then we got getting on the retracement down. Okay. So yeah, the coin had a 66% retracement in 1 month and was thus oversold with forming bullish divergences. Okay, from oversold we saw that 40% movement upwards. Okay, and then retracing back down and finding support on the middle of the parallel channel. As you know, I love to trade these parallel channels. They are a godsend recently. Okay, easy money. And so an original decline. On original, yes, I'm just mentioning here that on the original decline, the coin had bullish histogram divergences, and the coin has good fundamentals this month. As you all know, I'm not a fundamental trader at all. I will only trade the charts, but that does not mean that I am ignorant to the news or I am naive thinking that news will not affect price, because obviously it can. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you, obviously just so you're aware, I do not trade off of news at all, but I would just like to bring your attention, if you're not aware, of this really nice website a second, where you can view fundamental news coming up. Okay, and obviously if you are a like a Forex trader, etc., then you're obviously very used to trading news. And I would just like to really quickly show you this website if you are not aware of it. Coin Markle. Oh no, I cannot even remember what the website's called right now. Oh god, this is, right, I'll load up the website while I try and remember the URL while talking about this. Okay, so take profit 1. Okay, so why are we seeing this retracement all of a sudden? Okay, obviously my target was 497. Okay, let me show you what we're looking at here at 497. Okay, this is the lower wick of support. Okay, so you can obviously see here. Yeah, 497 support. What are we expecting to happen here? We are expecting this to turn into resistance. Okay, so that's obviously take profit 1. Target of the trade being up at the highs. Okay, so we're aiming to take the highs. Okay, this is where you have to protect yourself from a swing failure pattern. So really, I would be laddering out before we got to the eventual high, but you're really looking at, obviously 589, taking out that psychological 600 as a massive resistance level, absolutely massive resistance. Obviously the target for me being this area of consolidation before the big sell-off happened. Okay, so you're seeing this big consolidation before a massive sell-off. Okay, so this is overall target. This is obviously a medium-term trade to obviously reach up here. But yeah, I took profits already at 497 just because we have some local resistance here. This is a good opportunity to look at these bull flags, which we're going to be covering today. We can go over that one and see whether we're getting this bull flag to look to add in. Let's say that we take 20% profits here, whether we add the 20% down lower or we just let this retrace. Okay, that's obviously your decisions that you would maybe be making. I will just highlight to you some other key supports that you're going to be seeing up on the way. This is a really big one that you're seeing here, around 530 to 540. That's obviously going to be a key resistance. Obviously, the top of this parallel as well, but this is going to be dependent on how long it takes us to get here. But keep an eye on the top of that parallel. Okay, then this 540 region. Okay, then obviously the top of the move is going to be high as well, which you're looking around. This 598 sats as mentioned earlier. So yeah, those are the key resistances that you are seeing here. You are downtrending in this channel. Okay, so you can see the clear downtrend of the channel. Okay, so you are going to get resistance on the top of that. But if the coin has enough momentum to break through, then that's going to be great. So I would need to just show you this website. So I have got this under Traders Vault and Library. Ooh, this is a bit glitched. But what we're looking at here is, yeah, this one. Okay, so this is basically a website where you can see all of the news events that are coming up for certain coins. Okay, and we take a look at WAN here. Okay, so you just type in, WAN. Okay, WAN chain. Click on that. Oh, so you click on here, WAN. Click on WAN chain, then search, and it's going to basically tell you the events that are coming up for this coin. And again, I am not a fundamental trader, but yeah, as said, I'm not. I know that the price can affect a coin, and if it's bullish price coming up, then that's obviously nice, and it's something that although not necessarily I will trade off exclusively, it's good to have that knowledge of what's coming up on a coin that you're trading, I guess. So yeah, this is obviously got some bullish news coming up, which is only going to add to my long position. I was long from the technicals, but then when this is coming up as well, it's just a nice thing to have on your side rather than something going against you. Okay, obviously coming up to the end of June, you're looking at these sort of fundamental factors. The testnet launch, obviously a new blockchain bridge, etc. You got several events coming up at the end of June, which one would imagine could only be positive. But yeah, not a fundamental trader, but that is nice. Okay, and that's obviously just called Coin Marketao. Not even sure how you pronounce this correctly. Market cow. Coin Market Cow. Okay, it's when you're looking at the URL without those capitals, it's difficult. Coin Market Cow. Okay, so Coin Market Calculator, I guess. So yeah, that's the website, and yeah, that's what we're looking at there on WAN. Okay, so yeah, let's first. Well, I'll show you the presentation slide and then about the bull flags, and then we'll go back to WAN and talk about whether it's in one at the moment. Okay. So yeah, this is obviously the update from WAN, which I feel I must cover now. So obviously the entry taken, actually a really nice entry. So we got filled on the lower wick. Okay, literally in on that wick, out on the wick. But yeah, this was taken about 20 past 6, so about just over an hour ago. But you can also see, didn't mention this, but this is obviously on the 1 hour chart. Obviously, once I just took this profit, you did have the 1 hour 200 exponential moving average on this exact region of resistance. So that is another, obviously going to be a resistance for a day trader, the 200 EMA. So we did see 200 EMA acting as resistance there, coinciding with this old support flipping into resistance. So several factors basically coming together to equal 497 being a good take profit. Okay. So yeah, thoughts on the trade. I would say that this was a very aggressive trade for me. The coin is downtrending. We did just see this wick of resistance onto support and then get in on it on a secondary move down. So I would definitely acknowledge that this is a high risk trade. Okay, obviously you can look at trades in terms of calculating in between 1 and 10 how high risk the trade is, and I would say that this was a high risk trade. We're looking up at a 6-7 high risk trade. Personally, it was an aggressive entry. In a downtrend, obviously, all we were looking at was a few different factors. Obviously, you had horizontals and the fact that you had just found a long bullish wick buy up. Okay, so that's the main influences that we're looking at here. High buy volume coming in on that lower wick as well. So obviously very nice to see. But yeah, it was definitely a high risk trade, but it's paid off. Okay, and sometimes these more riskier trades give the biggest rewards. So yeah, they're nice to take. So yeah, I would just say that it was an aggressive entry on a coin that had not been doing well. Okay. So yeah, update of this is I am going to be staying in this position for another 48 hours, and then we'll either close my position, think, I'm going to obviously review this and see how we go over the next 48 hours here, whether we, just start to sell off here, whether we break down from the bull flag, or whether we actually break up for the bull flag, and then obviously I'll keep my position open. So it's going to be it's a very key time now. Basically, we've just come up and tested this resistance. Is it sell off time and to head back down, or are we going to be, continuing on with the uptrend? And that's where we can move on to make this informed decision. Obviously, we don't want to just be randomly thinking let's buy, let's sell, all informed decisions in trading, and playing off of probabilities. What's the most probable that can happen here? Let's go through some useful information here of looking at bull flags and bear flags, okay, and how I trade them, and trade them very well, I do. So what we're looking at here is, this is obviously a bearish flag, so a bear flag, and yeah, the charts that I'll go over for examples are obviously bull flags at the moment, because the market's uptrending. Okay, so what we're looking at here is, obviously, imagine this is the price candles. You see price, form a high, sell off heavily. So price sells off heavily. Well, it does not necessarily have to be heavy. This could be any impulse size, really. But you're looking at a sell off, okay? And then for your bear flag, you're looking at price retracing upwards to then continue back down, okay? And for a bull flag, you're looking for a movement up, a price retracing, and then continuation to the upside. And you could look at this as a bull flag / a bull pennant, all basically the same thing. Obviously the pattern is slightly different, okay, but more or less the same sort of features you're looking at, okay. And I can show you some examples of both if we can find some pennants. But yeah, we'll go over those examples in a second. I just want to read out what I've wrote here for you all. Okay, so obviously you are seeing price will be trending up or down depending on whether it's a bull or a bear flag, okay? And so price will trend up or down before hitting resistance, okay? And start to consolidate during the consolidation phase. Some people like to claim this is consolidation phase, etc. We're just looking at it as flags. But you want to see the volume decline. So as you are going through the pattern, so obviously in this bear flag example, you hit the bottom, okay, on large sell volume, and then you see volume declining as price increases. Okay, so you would see a heavy sell volume, price slowly increasing on light small bull volume before an increase on the sell off again. Okay, and it just gives, in this example, it would give sellers a chance to recoup and then start to get in shorts at higher prices. Okay, so that's why you like to see decreasing volume in your flags, okay, for that reason. Okay, and then you also preferably want this to stay below the 382, and that's obviously from the top. Take your fibs from the top of the sell-off to the bottom, see this price retrace up to the 382 in your declining volume. That is your classic bull flag, okay? And this can obviously be on every time frame, so you can see these flags play on the 5-minute chart all the way up to the the weekly chart. So yeah, they're seen on every time frame, and they're a key factor for me of how I like to trade. Okay, they're really, really nice trades. And I just entered one before we got in the video, okay. So this was off of Neo, okay, and I also entered another one off of Ontology. So those are two trades that I took off of a bear flag slightly before making this video. And Ontology, yeah, so Neo actually played out a lot better, but so we'll go through this as well. But yeah, basically that's what you're looking for. And as I said here, take the Fibonacci retracement from the start to the end of the pole, okay. The flag consolidation period is relatively short in time and are seen in the middle of an uptrend or downtrend, okay. So so you see your this example that I've wrote here is kind of too long. So you would generally see your pole, so you class this as the pole, and then your flag of the pole, okay. The flag generally does not last a long time in comparison to the pole, okay. So you're looking at maybe 25-30% of the time, okay. Visually, obviously, it's very dependent on every setup that you're looking at, and that's why I'm going to go over some examples, because it's a good way of teaching. Okay, but yeah, generally you're not expecting your flag to go on. Let's say your movement down was 3 days. You're not expecting your bull flag to go on for 10 days. That's not a flag, and it's a different kind of pattern that you have to be looking at. Okay, so you're not, it's relative speaking. You have to acknowledge how long have you had your flag pole to how long your bull flag is going to actually take, or bear flag. The flag is very dependent in time of how long that original move took. Okay, so you have to basically just acknowledge if your flag, your pole was 1 day, your flag is not going to be lasting 2 days. Okay, it doesn't make sense. Okay, it's just a different pattern if that starts to happen. So yeah, look for confluence when taking the entry within the flag, or wait for the flag to break with a close outside, and mark it a measured move of the flagpole from the breakout and place the stop loss back within the flag. And this is just the few different ways that you can take this trade. Okay, so let's say we're going from high to low. We're looking to two ways to take the trade. Firstly, would be looking to take shorts on the 382, get in at the 382, trade shorts here at the aggressive entry. Okay, the conservative entry is waiting for price to break down outside of the flag and taking a market short as you break down from the flag. Okay, showing that you have hit resistance and you're now breaking out of that flag. Okay, and obviously in your bullish example, you would be taking longs off the 382, or waiting for the price to then break up from that flag and go into a a market long position. Okay, or alternatively, the third option would be a break from the flag, then pull back up for a retest, take your short stop loss back inside the flag. Okay, or if you go long and you don't want to market long, okay, you wait for the retest and then take that long entry. Okay. So that explains here. Okay, so the last thing I need to explain is the measured move, for if you're not aware. Okay, so you go from the start of the pole to the end of the pole. Okay, when you break out of that flag, take that that copy and move it to the breakout area, and you're looking for the exact one-to-one move of that flagpole, and that would be your target. Okay, so you have this $770 move down, then you're looking for that $770 move down from the downside of the breakout. Okay. And yeah, this was an example that I traded live back on Matic. Okay, so this was before Matic done its like 10 times gain. So this was like a really amazing entry, and it was from simply a bull flag, and this gave times 10 gains from the upside. I didn't obviously not stay in the whole time of times 10. I was taking profits on the way, but this was my original entry from a bull flag. Okay. And you can see here how it played out really nicely, that you were actually taking the extension. Okay, it actually moved up to the extension, got a pullback, and then obviously continued. And then from this high to this low, it pulled back to exactly the 0.5 fib, and then, as you'll know, continued up crazily high. But yeah, it all started from a bull flag, and then you're obviously moving down on declining volume, breaking up. You can either take your market long or sort of wait for this pullback. And both entries in this Matic coin would have netted you unreal gains. Okay. So now I wanted to go over some like live examples. So yeah, let's use WAN as our first example, considering that's what we've been looking at. Okay, so a few things that we want to note here. Okay, so we are wanting to see declining volume. Firstly, that's a red flag right there, that you have had a real high sell-off of bear volume. That is not what you want to see on a bull flag, okay? So that's a first red sign on WAN. So this is maybe not too good of an example. We do not want to see that, basically. Okay, we're next getting our parallel channel. I'm going to continue with WAN, just why not? But yeah, that for me is a bit of a red flag. It doesn't mean that it invalidates it. It's just that you do not generally want to see a high sell-off in bear volume in a bull flag. Okay, so it's a red sign, but it's now created our lowest line of support. Okay, let's take out so this move is obviously from this low that we're seeing about 6%. So you have to remember, this is a 6% move in 2 hours, so that's a substantial move. Let's go from the low to the high. Okay. Let's just see what makes sense here. So obviously, it's yeah, fibs. Yeah, because you downtrend. Yeah, I would be taking my fibs actually. Because this is such a rapid move from the actual swing low of the move before it broke up. Okay, the other way that you could be looking at is fibs from here, or fibs at the very low, but because of the rapid move up here, I'd be taking it from the low. We're on the 15-minute time frame. It doesn't make sense to go back all that way. Okay, so we're taking fibs from the low of the move up to the high of this original move. Okay, and you're generally wanting to see this pull back to the 382, and you can see how it would have been a really nice bull flag in my opinion. You pull to the 382, and then you had this real high sell-off. All I would say that is it did get bought up, so that's good. You did actually close more or less on the 382. So although that is a red flag in itself, and it did end in a bear volume bar, which is not what you want to see, it at least did end with a long lower wick and actually show buying of the dip. So yeah, although not a perfect bull flag, it's still a respectable bull flag. Okay, but really, for this sort of entry now. It just messes up the entry, because the way that you would prefer to get your entry in a bull flag is obviously at the end of that flag, once you've had your first two touches, and the entry is all the way down at the 618. And if you start coming down to the 618, then I would argue that this is no longer a relevant flag. Also remembering that we're looking at the time of the pole in relation to the flag. Okay, we're obviously in terms of let's look at here, we're obviously looking of the flagpole itself. Okay, so 1 to 1, yeah, we're looking actually, we're already on a 1-to-1 of the whole flag, so this is obviously like using Fibonacci time. Then we can just see, like, from the original break, let's say the original break started here to where you are, yeah, to exact here, we're looking at a 1-to-1 in about 15 minutes time. So that gives, you know, we're running out of time here to form a nice bull flag, in my opinion. So this is not too great of an example, and you would either want to really now trade the break of 497. A close above 497 would be a respectable aggressive entry. Obviously our preferred buy is kind of like, this is like the pros and cons. If you pull back to the 618, yes, it's a nice entry, but not from a bull flag pattern. Okay, it's not a bull flag pattern if we pull back to the 618. Okay, in my opinion. Okay, it would be not looking at this as a flag, and just simply looking at it as a like it's still a nice trade, but you're looking at it in terms of simply, you know, trading off a 618 retracement, not a bull flag. Okay, let me show you a nice example of a bull flag. Okay, so this was obviously Neo. Okay, so you obviously come back up, so you obviously form your high. Once you form your high, you form your flag here, and this looks better on lower time frames. Okay, so this is lower, this is on the 3-minute chart. So what you're looking at here, you form your high, and then you start selling off on this, obviously this candle. Okay, so then you start to form from this candle your bull flag. Okay, as you see, declining volume. Okay, obviously your sell-off candle, but then you get declining volume as you flag down. Okay, as you start to flag down. Yeah, perfect. Where are we taking our entries? On these lower touches we're adding in. Okay, yeah, as we're adding into our positions here on the 3-minute chart, we are, you know, just taking actually from the lower wick up to the highs. Okay, obviously in these sort of scenarios you could have two. One could argue that the move has started here, or the move has started at this point as you break above, obviously on the 3-minute chart here, the 200 EMA. So you can always add in two sort of fib levels. It's not going to hurt you. Okay, that's what, you know, those are the two fibs, and you can just see that this one was the exact 382. If you argue that the move started here, obviously if you take your you know, from the exact to low, then yeah, you don't quite hit the 382, but that is still a bull flag nevertheless. Okay, it doesn't have to hit the 382 perfectly, but it does if you take your, you know, from where the move started to get parabolic at this point. Okay, so explaining the flag. This was a trade that I literally took not too long ago at all. So we're looking, obviously price forms a really nice high. Okay, really nice high, and this is a total, okay, of this was a move upwards of 12%, you know, over the course of this morning. So very nice move. That is like a week maker. 10% move literally would make your whole week in trading. Okay, so then you form down in your flag. Okay, what are the entries? For me, I prefer to get in on the bottom of flags. Okay, so me personally, I like to just take an entry off the bottom of the flags. The alternative way, as said, you obviously are waiting for the break and a retest. Okay, and then you're going long, or you just market buy as soon as you break out of your parallel channel. Okay, that is the two ways to trade this. Obviously this target has not been hit yet, but who's to say that it's not going to hit, right? So we are obviously, to get our measured move of this bull flag, low to high, I would actually class it from where the move started parabolically. Okay, so we're looking really about here. Okay, so we're looking then for our flagpole, very high target. Okay, but we're obviously just right click, okay, and clone the box. Okay, this gives us a target of around 127. Okay, so that would be how you look at a bull flag, how you look at your entry. Okay, we obviously saw, let me just explain one more time, very important. We're moving down in our flag. You can see the declining volume followed by, obviously the bear volume, bull volume is nice in a pattern. That's a good sign, if anything. But you obviously are coming down in your bull flag. Okay, you are seeing declining volume or lesser bear volume, so nobody's selling off, and then obviously you come back down And if you see where I've taken the flagpole from, this would definitely be the 382. Okay, so you're seeing price come on to the exact 382, and the reason, just to so you are aware why I'm taking it from here, is because you can see here you get the bounce, but this price action does not start as parabolic rise. Okay, we're talking 12% in a few hours. This is a parabolic rise, you know, week maker. So you obviously move sideways, and this is where it starts that parabolic sort of uptrend like this. Yeah. So at this point it's sideways, and that's why we're taking the flagpole from there. Okay, and that also equaled the 382 perfectly. Yeah, perfect 382. So then you're obviously seeing your declining bear volume in your bull flag, and the entries are either each time you hit the bottom of the flag down to the 382 entry, so 2 entries here, or a market buy as soon as you break the flag, or a retest, and then you go. Okay. So yeah, this was a really perfect flag, and obviously from where we are right now, I'm still in this position at 7%. So you know that's a 12% followed by 7% in a gain, and now you know why I love crypto. Absolutely unreal. Okay, so that is the bull flag pattern. Okay, of what we're looking at in trading. Let me go over some like other more examples. What else flagged really nice today? Icon. Okay, so Icon has obviously been in. This is like obviously a kind of like a little bit of a false breakout. Hasn't broke out perfectly, but again, we're sort of like seeing the price increase come down in a parallel channel, breaking. This has not, you know, moved up in the same way as one would hope, but nevertheless, it broke out for, you know, at least this sort of small gain. What else has been channeling really nicely? I'm trying to think of like some really nice examples to show you all basically. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you all know the rough idea of what we're looking at anyway. I'm just trying to think of some examples that we have seen literally today. Yeah, you just yeah, I'm going to move on because I cannot think of more examples apart from that because I literally just took it off the top of my head right now. My mind's going a bit blank. But basically, you see them a lot, okay? And you just want to see that classic pattern of price moving down on declining volume, okay? Get out your parallel channel, take, you know, entries down to the 382. Okay, that's where you're looking for your high probability. You can see here, for example, price moves down on declining volume to the 382. You get continuation to the upside. Okay, once you get that continuation to the upside, take out your bottom of your flagpole to the top of the flagpole. Okay, hold control on your keyboard and it does it so much quicker, and then you just get your extension as you break out from that parallel for your target. Okay, it's just a one-to-one measured move. Okay, so I hope that that has explained it well. It's obviously not too difficult, the bull flag, so that's why the theory is really easy, I think. What I wanted to mention on this to expand upon it is obviously when you're looking for measured move targets, you do want to use your common sense as well. Okay, in terms of let's not just let's not just rely solely on the bull flag for targets, and also use some technical analysis skills. Okay, in terms of really simply expecting where could a possible high target be. Okay, you would obviously be looking at the top of this move. Okay, top of the wick on that high, that would be a sensible target, and you can obviously see that you have hit that and wicked off. That's the exact point you're wicking off of now, and that is a retrace of about a percent. Well, it's about 0.8% so far. So this is where you could now be forming like literally another bull flag. Shall we see? So on the 3-minute chart, yeah, you could literally be flagging under this. So this is more of a, yeah, so you'd obviously be breaking here. You could form like a A B C D E, A B C D E. Yeah, it's not so much like a triangle that you've got going on here. You could form like a side, so you can get sideways pennants as well, and this is what we could form, like a sideways flag. Yeah, as long as it's like decreasing bull volume, then bear volume, then it's nice. So you could see something like this play out. Okay, so this is what you could be seeing on Neo. Consolidation under resistance is bullish. So this is bullish basically. So you come down, you form your flag, which obviously does not have to be a flag like this. Sideways flags are absolutely fine as well. If anything, more bullish because you're not getting that retrace even. Okay, but you know, you are hopefully getting that, you know, that sideways down retrace like we saw here, and this was obviously our perfect flag. Okay, so then this is, you can just see how I'm trading this all days. So obviously here you come down on that decline in bear volume. Here, you do not actually come downwards to form downward sloping consolidation, but you do get your declining bear volume, okay? But obviously, from the bottom of this move to the top, you are only coming down to the 236 at this point. If you take it from here, then you know, either way, you're not actually even coming down to the 382, okay? So one would, for a perfect sort of entry, one would want to see this come to the 382 and take an entry on the 382. Okay, at this point we've now broken the channel, and if you look on the 1 minute, okay, you can see, well, I guess you would have to line this up perfectly, really. So you would have to be looking at it like this. So obviously you break up on the 1 minute chart, you do retest, but 1 minute is a bit of a fake out number, so I don't trade off of the 1 minute chart. Generally, I just like look at it. But either way, I think there's a high probability that we end up flagging sideways here. Okay. So yeah, that's another example of Neo, and you know, that's what we would be looking at here. And then we could just simply use targets. Obviously, if you're looking at it in terms of just your, you know, targets of the measured move, then that's just going to give you just 2% gain. Obviously, if this appears on the daily, then obviously your moves are much higher. But this is on a 3 minute chart for a nice like scalp trade of an in and out sort of thing. But yeah, that's what you'd be looking at. But then you have to also remember that the original target of this move is also higher. So this is what you would have for a quick trade. Okay, and then obviously your measured move, okay, remembering that we were looking at something like, well, more or less lining up with the same area actually. So this would also, yeah, this would equal a really nice target. Okay, but you would want to really see this break above the resistance here for that quick market entry. You'd have to market enter, but or you, well, I guess you could wait for that retrace, but I would prefer to market enter, or wait for the entry on the bottom of this, okay, or you downslope to the 382. So those are like a few scenarios live on Neo that I would definitely take, like 100%. I'm already in the long though, so I don't need to worry about it. But yeah, I'm long on Neo, and this for me is like healthy at the moment. I would not worried about Neo. So that's nice. Yeah, so that explained the bull flags. Let me just see what we have. Sorry, but where's your USDT pairs? Or are you primarily looking for BTC pairs? And if something catches your eye, you check out the USD. So yeah, good question, Chris. And I am trading only on BTC pairs at the moment. So I am trading only BTC at the moment, literally. I'm not trading against Tether because I am very bullish on Bitcoin, okay? Although we are obviously, this is what you have to think, okay? And this is what I'm going to be covering today. But while Bitcoin holds every single support level, for me, important support levels, 382 fib, while it holds that, over these last 2 months, since we've been in an uptrend on Bitcoin, I have been doubling gains from trading against Bitcoin, okay? As I've mentioned before, when Bitcoin is in a bear market, I trade against Tether. When Bitcoin is in a bull market, which I believe it is in at the moment, I trade against Bitcoin, because if I'm trading against Bitcoin and making more Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is simultaneously going up, well, I'm doubling gains. So for me, it's like I will continue to trade against Bitcoin because Bitcoin's going up. And if I am sat in Bitcoin and Bitcoin's going up, well, my gains are just multiplying, yeah? So I'm making Bitcoin on downwards movements and upwards movements, and Bitcoin is in the medium term here heading upwards, then it makes sense for me personally to trade against Bitcoin pairs to gain more Bitcoin in a Bitcoin bull market, okay? Yeah, that's how I view that. And yeah, just to explain that, why I'm not trading against Tether is because I am bullish on Bitcoin at the moment. And as you all know, my target is looking obviously at these slightly higher levels. So yeah, and until we break key supports, which for me are the 382, which is I'm going to be covering today. This is funny. This is what I obviously done. TradingView saved it when my computer crashed, but PowerPoint didn't. I was writing up like notes like these of nice examples, but yeah, that's the main reason. So IOTA had a nice, yeah, I was trading IOTA as well. I didn't even remember this one. Yeah, so IOTA was actually nice today. Yeah, so yeah, you had bull flag continuation, bull. Yeah, but obviously I'm looking at this more of a swing trade. So I've been like swing trading. This is one that I've like had for so long for people, and I have nailed this coin for months now. Yeah, months. I've been nailing this coin on more on Bitfinex. Yeah, going long and short. But this is obviously our long-term parallel, and we come down to the bottom of it again. And today we literally hit the middle. Okay, where you take profits from bottom to middle. Okay, each time. And we're obviously looking at this key resistance of 6,200, and you can just see here. But, you know, this has happened now twice in a row, okay? Bottom to middle, 37%. Bottom to middle, 45%. You know, really, really big gains. And this is like so easy parallel channeling. Yeah, so yeah, I have been trading IOTA actually today, so that's decent. But yeah, moving on, because I don't need to cover any of that again. So yeah, what I wanted to move on to next, is the importance of the 382, and this is what I say. Okay, so my sort of saying that I like to do is do not trade a bias. The more opinions that you have on the market, the more money you are going to lose or miss out on. Okay, if you have a bias right now and you are under the bias of, I'm not buying in up here because Bitcoin is going down to 1,800. Daniel said 6 months ago Bitcoin's going to 1,800. I'm not buying in here. These sort of scenarios are going to make you lose money. If you have a bias in trading, you're either going to lose money or you're going to not you're going to miss out on the move. Okay, so do not hold a bias in trading and only trade the charts. That is what you need to get into the time frame that you need to get into the mental state of not holding any bias in trading and simply trading the charts. Okay, when you trade the charts, you will lose your bias. Okay, what do I mean by trading the charts? Okay, what do I mean by trading the charts? For me, a way that I can not hold a bias at the moment. Okay, do I think my bias is Bitcoin's going to be moving up? How can I, when you have a an idea of what the market's going to do, okay, that is obviously going to help you to a certain extent. But what is a way that we can fight our biases and try and create an argument that actually fights what we think? Okay, and for me, it's the 382 Fibonacci level. Okay, so I wanted to highlight here on Bitcoin key levels that I'm looking at to help fight my bias, that if we lose key supports, I do not want to be stuck in but bull only mode. Okay, so I wanted to have a way of discerning when to get out of the market, okay, or be taking profits. At the moment, I'm adding on every single dip so far has made me extreme profits, so I will continue to do that until we break key support, which is for me is 382, and this has been a very profitable tactic, so that's why I'm sharing it today. So what we are looking at is in an uptrend, okay? So in an uptrend, the importance of the 382 is huge, okay? Because if the uptrend is strong, okay, and we're looking at macro uptrends, not 5 minute uptrends. In macro uptrends, the 382 Fibonacci level is a really key support, okay? Really key support that one would expect price to hold. Okay, so one would expect price to hold at the 382. And if you have coinciding variables, so when we start to see that, obviously this was obviously when we were looking at our gap field, I just wanted to highlight there. So when you see coinciding variables of the gap, okay, and also coinciding variables of just simply being like the 382 consolidation slightly below, you have coinciding variables of aiming for the 382, and you would expect this to hold in an uptrend. Okay, obviously it held in an uptrend. Where do we go from here? Okay, let's just remove and delete this. I've explained that one. Okay, once we went from there, we sort of saw a bottom, new top. What were we doing? Going from here, taking out our fibs from low to high, being this high right here. What happened? Price held the 382 again. Okay, holding, and we go up again. Okay, what happened today? What happened today, everybody? What happened today? Okay, oops. Okay, so we are seeing here price come down. One would argue that this is holding the 382. Okay, we've come down between the 236 and the 382. This is obviously holding the 382. Yeah, so while we are holding this level, there is no reason to be bearish. In my opinion, it's just for buying the dips. Okay, this is where you're laddering into positions. Yes, we all know that at some point the 382 is going to break. Nothing goes up and up and up and up and up forever. But while we have this way of having a clear invalidation point of where we can be safely looking into buying the dips, and if we have been doing this consistently over the past month at least, then you have made so much more money now that when it eventually comes down, then it's going to offset any losses. It's just crazy to have that bias of not being looking bullish when the market clearly is so bullish on the daily. And yes, we are just want to really acknowledge I'm aware the move is overextended. I am aware a heavy pullback could come, but until that happens, I not trading under any sort of bias that a pullback needs to happen, okay, or I want to need to buy in at lower prices. I'm just simply looking at the 382, and it's been a very good way to measure this market. Okay, obviously the 382, 382, one could argue that here, and when you're laddering into the positions, it's absolutely fine. Okay, here you actually obviously see key support at 0.5, so one could argue that the 0.5 touch is actually still a very healthy pullback to continue to the upside. But yeah, that was the importance of the 382 that I just wanted to really highlight to you of how the 382 Fibonacci level has helped me greatly, really greatly. Because I don't want to be a trader that trades off of a bias and of what I think is going to happen. I want to trade off of probabilities. Okay, for me, trading is all the probabilities game of what is the most likely to happen. And in my thesis, the most likely thing to happen in an uptrend for Bitcoin is it will retrace to the 382 and then continue up. Okay, that's my sort of thesis of the market, I guess. And so far, my evidence that I would present to you all has been very conclusive that it is a strong thesis, it is a strong bias to hold, okay, a strong idea I have of the market. I think it's undeniably very good, okay. And I just want to acknowledge, yes, I'm aware we're going to lose it at some point, but until that happens, yeah, it's a great moneymaker. So that's why I wanted to explain it to you all today, yeah. So yeah, that's what I was looking at here. And now for the flip side of altcoins. So now I want to cover altcoins and why I mentioned here. Oops. Why I mentioned here the 786 in an uptrend, okay? And what I'm looking at here is 382 for majors, okay? I'll get to your questions in a minute, by the way. When we're looking at majors, we are looking for 382 retracements. Okay, so this is obviously our major altcoins, but our sort of 786 retracements are the low cap altcoins that have 100% pump in a week. So we're looking at these coins that pump up heavily. These are the sort of coins where we can actually look to get in between the 618 and the 786, equaling a good entry. Okay, we're not looking for entries at the 382 on a coin that pumps up 100%. We're not taking aggressive entries at the 382. Yes, we are for intraday scalp trading, but we're not entering at the 382 for an advanced move after it's already up over 100%. Okay, so I hope that explains that. We are waiting for a high to come in, breaking down from the 382, and then we are naturally looking down towards the 786, really between the 618 and 786 on these pump coins, okay, where that's your next good entry. And I have got some examples for you here. So this is one that I have been calling. Made this one like really obvious. I was trading this. This was my targets, and it has been for a very long time. Okay, so this was PHB. Okay, so this was PHB. So Red Pulse Phoenix. Okay, obviously it just had its rebranding. I did not get in on the rebranding, but I didn't trade any of this upwards movement. I did not trade any of that upwards movement, but I did get in on this retrace to the 786. Okay, and that for me is fine. I wasn't even aware of this pump when it was going on. To be honest, I'd never heard of this, but yeah, I saw that it pumped up, and my target was simply waiting for this 786 retracement. And this was one that I've been talking about a lot recently. And what happened is, I was talking about this before it happened, and people could have got in on this. And this was waiting for the 786. Okay, first target being the 618, where you did have that nice reaction. Okay, so you did have the nice reaction off the 786, 618, but you obviously sell off. And once you sort of sell off at this point, as soon as you break these lows, you're looking at the 786. Okay, where you can really nice. What was nice about Red Pulse Phoenix is that the 786 was on the exact psychological number of 300 sats, where you would generally expect to find support. Okay, the last time you saw that psychological was 400 all the way at the 0.5, and you can see the reaction that you got last time. Okay, 0.5, that 15% gain. This actually gave more, yeah. So yeah, you're seeing those nice reactions from psychological numbers when they line up with fibs. Okay, here it literally held it to the tick. Okay, so this was like really nice entry. Okay, entry, stop losses below the, sort of below the lows. Okay, holding to the tick and moving up really nicely. And this actually gave two entries. Okay, so first entry from the 786, we're taking profits at resistance, old support. Okay, flipping into resistance. Okay, flips to resistance. You come down, in my opinion, I would class this as a double bottom. You are 3 sats from the bottom. Okay, 3 sats from a double bottom, in my opinion, is a double bottom. Okay, so you're looking at that sort of double bottom scenario where it continues up this time. Okay, what we're looking at here, we are obviously got that same resistance point. We form a low. We hit our resistance. We downtrend for this double bottom scenario. We move up, hit the resistance again, come back down. Okay, come back down. Where did we come back down to? Our upwards sloping trend line. so nice. Okay, each of these moves 10%. Massive. This is like making your month. Okay, you're seeing that original move coming down double bottom, coming up, hitting target, coming back down. Now we're forming an upward sloping trend line. Upward sloping trend line shows accumulation. Yeah, so we come up, hit our upward sloping trend line, accumulation. We come up and hit the target one more time before selling off. Okay, we sell off one more time. and then eventually you break up, where you could view this, I guess, as an ascending triangle. You break up through your resistance, okay, break up through that resistance. We're looking at a measured move, okay, breaking that downward sloping trend line, and then obviously you come up and take your target, okay. And what we were looking at here was like this, okay. So I posted this in the champions group earlier, and that is what we were like looking at. Yeah, so you're looking at that the original parallel breaking out and hitting target perfectly before selling off, and you're now come all the way back down to that upward sloping trend line, and you can actually see it gave another entry wick on the downward sloping trend line. You have to remember these are small then intraday scalping trades, okay, 5%. So yeah, that's been like perfect. Red Pulse Phoenix from the 786, and this one is going to be for AJ Crypto, AJ, because yeah, he was obviously mentioning in the contenders chat today about Atom. So I looked at Atom, and I wanted to show you this one, and this is for you. So where is it? Atom. Yeah, so this one this one retraced to the 786. I took a look at it, and it was like really nice. So you know, you form a really big impulsive move, so massive impulsive move. You sell off. Where do you get your reactions? 618. You get a strong reaction at the 618. You know, this region bounce off the 618. You then come down off, and you see you kind of lose the support briefly, but you do come down to this region of the 786, where you can see then upward sloping support, okay, upward sloping support, higher lows showing accumulation at this point. So this is your accumulation leading to a further uptrend, okay? And this is where you can be, obviously taking profits at horizontals or trading from 786 to 618. Let's just see. I didn't trade Atom. I'm just doing this to cover it for you, but you're looking at that 7% gain between the two fibs. Yeah, I did not trade this one, but I thought I'd be nice and cover it for you. But yeah, you're looking at that 786, so the key feature that I wanted to show you all, basically, so the importance of the 382 for majors and 786 when a coin pumps up high, okay, and then getting on that retrace. I'll show you one that I did trade, OMG, so Omnimize Go. This was one that I did trade for you all, and I can show you. Omnimize Go, okay, so yeah, this was one, okay, that you get your increase in price, okay, let me delete this a second, price pulls back exactly, okay, you're looking at that exact sort of pullback to the 786 here, and then price continues on again, okay, and then we're looking at, this is a big move by the way, 786 to where you are now, around 15% in a few days. So that is yeah, why you look for the 786. You can also see here reaction at the 618 equaling about a 10% move, pulling back down, coming down to the 786, also equaling another 15% move. So those are the levels that we're looking for reactions from: 618, 786, rinse and repeat. You have to remember that, yeah, not every single time this is going to play out. Please don't let me give you the illusion that this plays out every single time, because it doesn't. All I would say and highlight is that when it doesn't play out, we're taking that, let's just say 4% loss, okay, because we've got our stop loss in place, and let's just say obviously it's very dependent on the trade, but let's just say averaging those 4% losses, but then our winners are obviously ×3 this. So yeah, over time you play your averages and your probabilities, and it's a nice tactic. So yeah, that's what I'm looking at there, and those are a few different coins to give you like some live examples of how that's traded out like so nicely for you all. Okay, let's just take a quick look at Neo. Obviously it hasn't broken up, so let's see what's going on. Yeah, so this is where we are still in our sideways parallel actually, so we're still looking at the flag sideways. So yeah, this is normal. We're still seeing this. We're still seeing downward sloping bull volume. So yeah, no red flags at the moment still. Yeah, let's move on. So yeah, Bitcoin obviously down sloping, so that obviously doesn't help slightly, although it's not a massive movement. But Bitcoin moving down, this is obviously really small percentages, but yeah, but 0.5. So yeah, anyway, moving on. So yeah, that was what I wanted to cover there with how to trade. So now I hope that you do have the idea of how you trade these bull flags, okay, and the importance of the 382 for majors, okay, majors being your high market caps, and your 786 in the pump coins, okay, or big move, let's just say high percentage moves, okay. Bitcoin doesn't see 100% moves in a few days, so yeah, that's the difference I want to distinguish. Those are high percentage moves, looking for those lower retracements, and then the other 382. If any of you have any questions, please ask them now, and I will take some questions as I start to begin the Bitcoin analysis. So yeah, please ask any questions that you have here. So let's just see what we have. Dart Rico, how do you know the difference between a sideways flag and a parallel channel? Okay, so they're basically exactly this. You know, they're very similar. So look, using Neo as an example. So using Neo as an example, because obviously we started off like coming, well, let me just show you how you look at this in the moment. Yeah, so obviously originally you can see here that you form a low, you form a lower high, you form a lower low. This is obviously on the 3 minute chart, and this is my favorite time frame for like intraday trading. That you can tell, I guess, that you're going to form a downward sloping parallel, because the way that it gives itself, it shows itself low, lower high, lower low, lower high, and it's fairly obvious, I guess, that you're going to be downsloping at this point, as after you form your first 3 points: low, lower high, lower low. Okay, whereas here, okay, you form your low, then you form your high, then you form a low, then you form a lower high, but you form almost a double bottom. So then you're thinking, okay, we haven't broken the low, it's not going to be forming a downward sloping channel at this point, is it? Because it's not broken the low, it held it, and that's when you would be expecting the sideways channel. And then, as you can see here, we are moving in a sideways channel. Okay, obviously, you can see here, yeah, we're moving down, but what what volume is this? This is like volume for ants. Who cares? Like, yeah, if we get a big red uptick in volume upon losing this support, then that is a red flag. That would be a red flag. Okay, you don't really want to see this break out of here on an increase in bear volume. That would be your red flag of this trade. But at the moment, yeah, this is not a red flag. It's absolutely fine. Okay, so what I would notice is, so this is what you would obviously be, in terms of price action, it's no, and volume, it's fine. But in terms of your indicators that you're seeing here, you are seeing the RSI downtick heavily, and price is actually, well, so you could view this as hidden bullish divergences. So depends on how you want to look at it. One would argue, this is nice, some nice hidden bullish divergences here. This is going to continue upwards, but some of alternative traders could view this as it's losing momentum. The momentum to the downside is strong. We're going to break down. So as you can see, we are breaking down. The volume is relatively low, but you are breaking down at this point. But again, we're looking to the 382. So this for me is still not a red flag. Okay, we're still looking for the 382. This is like not a red flag. Yeah. So we're looking down. We nearly got it there. We nearly got the 382, and price is already getting bought up. Like, we are increasing on a slight bear volume here. But while we hold the 382, then it's like zero red flags for me. Like, we can just adjust this obviously channel slightly now. Yeah, and we've just then wicked onto this slightly. So yeah, key support 382. That's enough of Neo for now. Okay, so yeah, we're back inside a parallel already. So yeah, that's Neo, and how I'm looking at those flags, and how I can how I distinguish whether we're going to be down sloping or whether it's moving sideways, depending on once you've formed your high, your low, your lower high. Are you moving down and taking this low, or do you hold it and then you're obviously expecting to move to the upside again? So yeah, that's how I distinguish. So nice question. Are we looking at a bull flag currently on BTC then? So yeah, let's go to Bitcoin. Okay, and we're going to have to zoom out a little bit. So this is the thing. So this is like what I mentioned, yeah. So you get your impulse, but then the flag lasts so long in comparison to the flagpole. So this, in my opinion, is no longer a bull flag, because it's gone on for too long in comparison to the move up. Like, you don't... I mean, it's not hard built-in rule. So this is not a hard built-in rule. It's just like a what's the word I'm looking for? Like a guideline. So it's not like an exact rule that it has to happen, but it's like not something that you would generally want to see. Yeah, so you generally don't want to see it. It's not a hard built-in rule, but you could view this as like your downward sloping. But for me, it just doesn't make sense to look at it as a bull flag when you impulse and your flagpole is like so much longer than the pole in terms of length of time. It just, for me, doesn't make sense. Yeah, obviously if this goes on in 1 hour, then obviously you're not expecting your bull flag to last 1 hour, so you have to like have a little bit of common sense. But yeah, when the flag is 1 hour, and then you're looking at a 1 hour move fueled then by 2 days, 21 hours of consolidation, one would argue that this is no longer related to this impulse, and it's a different pattern that you should be looking at. And I guess then all you would need to be looking at really is to hold the bias of where are we moving up or down. Is 382. This is still a good area to be buying dips. You know, I've been buying the dips here while we hold the 382, and it's, you know, also lining up with critical support. So this is like still nice for like doing the flip trades, where you are simply looking at this in terms of, you know, selling the buy or buying really, yeah, sorry, buying the bottom of the parallel, taking profits again as you come up to the top of it. Okay, so as you come up to that downward sloping, take profits, okay, and just keep adding as you the magnet tool on TradingView, man. And then obviously adding two positions anywhere between the 382 and the 236. So this is like all a buy region, yeah. So you don't have just one buy in here. You would stack your buys because you want to buy the dips. So I like to buy the dips. So yeah, I'm an aggressive trader basically. When the time presents itself, I go very aggressive, and happily I will go aggressive because I know, I know this not going to work forever. But while I can be an aggressive trader and make so much money on this sort of situations, yeah, I am so aggressive. I'm not going to lie, and that's why I'm aggressive on these alts as well. Like WAN chain, no, not in a million years would have I taken WAN chain, in 2018, but in 2019. I'm buying downtrends, yeah. So I would not have taken this trade in 2018, and that's like adapting to the market, yeah. So adapt to the market, move with the market, don't get left behind, I guess. um, yeah. So now let's move on to Bitcoin. And question there, you timed that spike down. Thanks for that perfect explanation. No worries at all. Yeah, glad it helps. Yeah, I'm. I'm good at trading. I love trading. Well, this is the thing, yeah. So I spend let's say like 8 hours, 12 hours a day doing this. So you just get a feel for the markets, I guess. I just dedicate my life so far to trading. So yeah, I absolutely love it. I would not change it. But yeah. Yeah. Moving on for Bitcoin then. So let's move on to the technical analysis of Bitcoin. So as like focused on today's lesson, yeah, I'm obviously bullish while we hold key supports. Okay, I am aware some key metrics. Let's think of some key metrics to look at. Yeah, so we're looking at this downward sloping channel. Is the downward sloping channel bearish? In itself, yes. Okay, we do want to get a close above this. So that is one thing that we could be looking at, simply day trading between this and selling each time you hit the top, buying each time you hit the bottom, okay? And then to actually form a long position, to hold for the swing term for the next leg up, you want to see this break above, okay? Or a breakout trade, but I would not take a breakout trade because I think the slippage is going to be really high. Although the target's high, I'd prefer to get, I prefer to buy the dips than buy the breakouts. Although I would buy the breakout, but I prefer to buy the dips. Yeah, so yeah, that's what we're looking at in the short term. Downward sloping channel, okay, in itself bearish, but while we hold key supports, medium term much more bullish. But you can just simply be selling the top of the channel, buying the bottom until you obviously break down from the bottom of this channel. Well, you break from the 382 down /0.5. That's a really big red flag when I would definitely be taking on some big shorts. But for the moment, I'm not hedging myself in such an aggressive manner because I'm leaning to the bullish side. As you'll know, this is the pattern now that I've been looking at for literally like the last few months or more. Okay, this bump and run pattern. Okay, so I'm still holding the target for this. I've been holding it for a while now, and I see no reason to not still keep this target. Okay, where the target is literally well, obviously I've got resistance here 9.6, but 10k is the start of the bump and run. Okay, so this remains my target. We're looking at higher resistances, so I will label the high resistances for you. Obviously the double top, okay, 9,000, then you've got this 9,300, 9,600, then obviously the top being at 9,800 to 10,000 or 9,900. This is a massive resistance point, massive resistance, so you would definitely be taking profits here. Again, this was massive resistance. But we broke straight through it. So this was massive resistance. We broke straight through. Yes, obviously it can happen, but it's unlikely after the move's already so extended. So I would 100% be taking profits and hedging a position at this point. Although we are looking up to 12k if we do manage to get through that. Okay, for downside targets, if you would like a bearish view, okay, for a more of a bearish view, you could argue that we still need to correct this whole movement up in a more stronger manner. Okay, if you're holding a bearish view, then maybe you're looking for 5.4k buy-ins. I think this is missing a lot of opportunity, but I will present you this in case you want to be of this viewpoint. Then respectable if you do, if that's your game plan. Then you're looking at the 618 at 5,400, but yeah, with the momentum the way it is, it does seem unlikely to come straight down here. But that's a respectable target if you are under that viewpoint at the moment. Okay, obviously a secondary would be the 618 where you could double bottom off of this wick. Okay, looking at the 618 of the that move. Okay, and then up to your low term time frames if you want a more safer entry and you believe we're moving down, then obviously this 618 8000 you would imagine that would be a great support level. So there are lower entries down, but for me, if you want my opinion of how I'm trading this, I still am trading this bullishly until I get the red flag of losing the 382, and then obviously I will take a heavy, still hedged positions because I would be still net long, but I would take big heavy short positions to hedge my long positions basically if we lose the 382 because it coincides so nicely with this support. So yeah, I would say overall bullish, and I do believe until we hit my top targets in this green box, then I do would be more surprised if we just fell down at this point. But that's a bias of mine, yeah. So as I said, I do not try to trade off of biases, and although I may view this as bullish, I can change like this if we lose the 382 for example and we get some big bear volume coming in. If we break down and get some big bear volume, then I can change my viewpoint instantly. I'm not married or I'm not married to any sort of predictions. I can quickly change and adapt to whatever happens. So yeah, that's what I'll be looking at. You can see here at the moment, so this is where one could argue you're in a bull flag, okay, because you are downward sloping in downward sloping volume as well, so that is obviously nice as well. So it's just if we get a big sell-off volume, then that would be a massive red flag, breaking the 382 on high bear volume. Okay, then that's where you could have your aggressive entries. That's where you could get your aggressive entries. Okay, I would be hedging myself, but I would also simultaneously be looking for longs, but would definitely hedge with a short if we broke this. But then you're looking down to your overall 382 from swing low to swing high, overall 8,000. Obviously then 7,300 would be a high area to be looking for those aggressive entries still. But then you break down from that and it's like massive red flag, and then that's I would imagine would start correcting the whole move. Okay, so if we break that sort of 7,300, then I would imagine that we're correcting this whole move. Okay, well, we could see this as 1, 2, either 3, 4, and we've finished a fifth up here. And I would imagine that we come down to these sort of lower levels. The overall 382, 6,700, 5,300. That's where you could start to get in that. If we start to break these key supports, then yeah, one would imagine you're correcting the whole move. Okay, but still, it doesn't mean you're bearish because you would just view this as your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I think this is you obviously have these perma bears, you still see them. The perma bears are like, yeah, this is an ABC. I don't see that, to be honest. I think this is really impulsive, but you do have to acknowledge every argument, have to acknowledge that anything is possible. So yeah, I guess it's possible that we come down for new lows at this point, but I do think it's very, very, very unlikely. But again, that's my opinion. I do think it's very unlikely that we hit new lows at this point, but I do acknowledge that it's possible. So yeah, that would obviously be a massive red flag. Breaking to 618, breaking to 786. Yeah, then I would definitely expect new lows, but that is a hell of a while off from where we are at the moment. So take it one step at a time. Okay. Let me just read through the questions. So, if you spend all day trading, when do you see your fiance? Well, obviously, she's doing her own thing as well. Like yeah, this is my personal life, I guess. But yeah, we obviously, it's not like I'm 24/7 on trading. I'm obviously taking breaks in the day as well. Like 12 hours straight is obviously a bit of it's not really 12 hours straight, but yeah, we do things on the weekends and etc. But yeah, I do see my fiance. Yeah, so yeah, that's what I wanted to cover tonight. If anybody else has any more questions, please let me know right now, and I will gladly cover some questions for you. And I think that was everything that I did want to cover. I'll stay around for a few minutes and see if anybody does write some questions for me, and I'll gladly take them. This is what I wanted to cover, obviously, on the website. So just a quick update of obviously this message that I gave you all. Okay, so yeah, this was the message that I obviously posted over on the group chat. okay, explaining about obviously the website is temporarily down while the basically the business is getting properly registered, and this includes some back end changes. So there's just a few different things that are happening with the site that is changing in the background. I will just obviously keep you all updated of the progress and how this goes and things that are being added, etc. So it's all exciting, all good. But yeah, obviously the website is going to be unavailable for the next few days while these changes get made. Yeah, basically you should notice hopefully very little downtime. So we're going to do this as quick as possible. Okay, so try and make it as wrote here, like as painless and non-disruptive as possible. All of your subscriptions have been cancelled, so I have manually gone through and cancelled all of your reoccurring subscriptions, and your account, I believe, on the website will also be deleted. Because yeah, but I'll explain it all in another video. But basically, we're looking at sort of legal reasons and tax reasons, etc. That all need to be accounted for now. It's obviously a registered official business, so this includes I'm going to have to delete everybody's account and just start this up again. So yeah, that's just the only thing that you'll need to worry about really. Just so you're aware, I have cancelled all your subscriptions. You will likely have to, when the membership opens again, so in a few more days, I'll open it back up. So everything is cancelled at the moment. You will have to sign up to the website again and start the mentorship program again for the website with a new, membership fee. So yeah, that's what we're looking at. You should notice no other downtime apart from that. Apart from in a few days, I'll make a video explaining all of this in more detail so you are aware. And yeah, you will have to sign up to the website again, I do believe. But I can confirm this once I got more details from the accountant, etc. So yeah, that's what I wanted to update you all on there. And yeah, that is everything. So let me just see if there was any more questions. And if not, then I'll wrap it up. Another great session, Dan. Thanks. No worries at all. Raven making some moves. Loves your 60-second rundown of what you're seeing right now. Yeah, so this is what I like doing, and I think I like more in like the champion streams. Like I'll be doing this like really regularly. This is me. Oh, that's funny. Wrong tab basically. Raven. Let's take a look at Raven, and then I'll call it a night. So Raven. Raven's one that I'm interested in. I've got it on my favorites here somewhere. Yeah. Yeah, so this is nice. 1 hour chart. So yeah, this is like, so Raven I have been interested in, and obviously we're in the overall like big downward sloping, but you can also see here, so this is like live, and you can see like how perfect do I do these channels. Bottom to top, rejection wick. We're seeing a rejection wick of so far 1%, and this is live while it's happening. So bottom to top. Okay, let's see, bottom to top, 13%, 2 days. How brilliant is that? And yeah, that's Raven. So yeah, I love trading off of this. These are like my money makers. These are really make you so much money. But yeah, I'm going to wrap up the stream now. Glad you've all enjoyed tonight. And will we still see all past streams once back up and running? Yeah, 100%. So these old streams are not going to be deleted. They are always going to be kept on the website. Yeah, it's just you will not be able to log into the website, obviously, because I've deleted the accounts. Actually, I believe they're not deleted. Yeah, they will be deleted. So, yeah, you will just not be able to log in and view past live streams. But yeah, they're 100% will not be deleted. You can come back in once the website reopens again and you've signed up. You'll be able to review all the old live streams 100%. So yeah, that's it for tonight then. Glad you've all enjoyed. I've enjoyed it, and I will now get back to trading some of these setups. Oh yes. So yeah, that's it for tonight. Glad you've all enjoyed, everybody. Thank you, boss. Love this stream. Yeah, no worries at all, man. I'll see you all in the next one, which will obviously be for the Champions Sunday. So it's all continuing as normal. Although the website's down. So the next one, obviously, Champions stream on Sunday, and then obviously our Contenders stream next week on Wednesday. So I'll see you all then. Thank you, everybody, and yeah, catch you in the next one. Cheers. Good night. Good evening. Take care, and see you in the next one. Cheers. Bye.